So hi everybody. I know after the last class, we mentioned that we were going to start conditional formatting in in this class. I don't. Let's see how that goes. I don't know how this is going to go. Let's see. However, I I just felt like, oh, we needed to explore more data cleaning exercises, right? So that we would have a full grasp on it beyond what we did. We just did one example or two. I don't remember. I think about two or one in the last class. So um, I'd want us to take a look at this. I came across this data. Someone shared this data with me today, and I was like, "Oh, I love this data." I loved it because it was really dirty. It had a whole lot of dirt in it, and a lot of cleaning. So I figured this is how we're gonna learn. So I said, let's try it out. Let's explore the data. So we're gonna do this together. Yeah, all. Um, let's see how much we can do together. So as per the last class and all, what did we discuss? We discussed about um data cleaning, right? And all. So please, before we continue, I want us to be very interactive, be free. This is not an interview, an exam hall. Do not be afraid to make a mistake. I mean, that's how you learn. Do not be afraid to get it wrong. Just be at liberty to interact, ask questions. And when I ask questions, don't be afraid to get it wrong, okay? So we can all learn. Having said that, here is the data we'll be working with. I shared it on the WhatsApp group. I'll probably just share it again on the Zoom platform for those who are, oh boy, I said I need to close it first. For those who are unable to access it, okay, sense. Apparently, you can't have a file open and send same file via Zoom chat at the same time. I wonder why. Okay, so looking at this data, who can? I want people to tell me what would be the first thing you do when you see a data of this manner. Before we continue, Seth, I want to, I like, so forgive my spontaneity in adding random things to our learning, unrelated, but could be very helpful. So I'm going to, oh boy. Something very important we need to know, file types, file formats, right? The file I shared with you is a CSV file. It's a Microsoft Excel, but CSV file. We also have files like, we also have files that could be, what do I call it? They could be like Excel files. Microsoft, let me add this here. So under the type, you would see Microsoft Excel worksheets. This is a standard Excel file. Then this is a CSV file, comma separated value file. So sometimes, so it's important to know the type of file you're working with. And it's also pretty much important in most cases, or some cases, if you have to carry out analysis, in fact, in all cases, if you have to carry out analysis on a CSV file, it's advisable to first save it as an Excel worksheet. File, save as. If you go to File, Save as, you see the options, Excel workbook, and you save. That's going to save you a whole lot of stress. This is because in a CSV file, if you put formulas, do all your analysis, put pivot tables, once you save it, once you close it and open it, it's as though you didn't do anything. All of them are going to be wiped away. So it's important to save your files in Excel formats. Microsoft Excel workbook formats. Yeah. So if we look here, we see this one, CSV, this other one, Excel worksheets formats, and there we go. So that one is free of charge. That's it. Okay, so back to this. Who is going to take the first shot? I have this data set. So what is the first thing I'm going to do about this? And this is real life, guys. We're going to meet dirty data always, like critically. We mostly find dirty data, especially when you're working with multiple sources, third-party sources, or so on. Data cleaning. Anybody?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please tell me.
So I think we may need to highlight all. So because looking at the date column, that's column B, that's showing the hash as that means the size there is not enough for that cell. So we may highlight all and go to the format, pick the appropriate in the format.
Out of it. Yeah, but I mean, why that is true and that is pretty good, but sometimes you don't have to go that deep, my brother. Literally come to this place and space it. They're
Okay.
just two columns, right? So yeah, I mean, there we go. Rather than control A, go. It was just formality I was showing you that day, don't mind me. But yeah, it's standard process. I mean, beyond the whole, if it's just hash hash hash, it's you could just give it adequate spacing and it will get your job done. But thank you. So after that has been done, what next? Okay, just so that we don't drag so much. It'd be nice to have it interactive, but no problem. I had mentioned that, so if it's one of the things that I do when I get data set is to explore each of the columns, right? Most times I'll put a filter, Control Shift L, and then go through all the columns one after the other. So column A, complaint ID, date submitted, the dates look clean. Pretty much they're all marked into years. So thankfully, yeah, sometimes you could have messed up dates, columns. The products, this gives a list of the products. Now, I don't know if you can see this drop down. It is very interesting. If you see, under products, you see bank account or service. You see checking or savings account, credit card. You see another column for credit card or prepaid card. You see debit collection, mortgage, student loan, vehicle license or lease. So I'm seeing credit card here and credit card or prepaid card together. So I want to look at what the similarities are here. Okay, there are different categorizations. They look consistent, so I can deal with that. So sub-products. Sub-products, we see double quotes. Okay, we see double quotes. Double quotes. Normally, double quotes may mean blank, or they could mean same as the one above,
Hello,
right?
hello, Mr. Jason.
Yes, please.
This is T.
Yes, I can
Okay,
see.
sorry for interrupting. I wanted to ask, you
Yes.
first asked who is going to do this on this data sheet and that. So I wanted to ask, is there a step by step to go while cleaning this, why working on this pivot table? There are some people that will say, okay, when you have a data like this, you review the data, you remove duplicates, handle the missing values, blah, 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 check for errors and all that. Do you have a step by step? Do you,
Also, you
do you
want,
have it done step by step?
so you want like a list, step-by-step
No,
list, that kind of
kind of.
thing. Okay.
Yes.
Well, also that's what I showed in the last class. Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I could also highlight it and share step by step. Like the first thing we did was to align the columns so that they are visible.
Okay.
Next thing, go column wise and
Okay.
look into the data sets. So okay, yeah, so the stepwise thing makes sense. I get what you're saying. So their dynamics, data sets could come in their dynamics, but standard procedure anyway. Yes. So once you have your data, your columns arranged and all, first thing you should
Okay.
do is to go column by column, right? To understand your data, the data you're working with. First of all, if there is some explanation to the data, oh, this data explains so and so, this data refers to this, that, yeah, then you have an understanding of what you're looking for. Just like the sales data we work with, you get some intro. Oh, this is the sales data for so and so shopping mall from so and so period, so and so period. Once you have that understanding, or there is even a tax like, oh, so analyze this data, get so and so information out of it. It helps you to it helps you have an idea of what you're looking out for. So if you don't have that information, if you just have data sets given to you, it's pretty much you to go through the data set to understand everything, right? So just by going through this data set, first of all, the header, the title of the page of the book says financial consumer complaints. So customers complaints in a financial institution. Yeah. Good question, though, by the way. I think it's going to help everybody. Yeah. So that gives an understanding that I am looking at a data set, a complaint report, a data set with complaints based on financial services. So the complaint ID, the date it was submitted, the products, the product categorizations. So basically put a filter and go through, just have a quick overview of what is in each column. That's what I'll do. So here we have sub-products, certificates of deposits, auto deposits, cashing, a check without an account. So you have a whole lot of randoms here. There's a lot of it, some duplicates. Mortgage, you see mortgage debts. We know mortgage is already debts, other mortgage, payday loan debts. Oh, this data is so nice. Good for practice. Let me give a typical example of going column wise. So I'll just filter out two first. So I'm saying private student loan and private student loan debt. Yes. So if we're categorizing, this is same as this. Oh, or not. Okay, so there is debt collection and there is student loan. Well, so it's pretty good to take your time and understand the data you're working with. I'm seeing payday loan debts. See, payday loan, debt collection, payday loan debts, debt collection. And so next I'll go to issue. Now for the issue, okay, advertising and marketing, application processing delay, application for mortgage or refinancing, arbitration, balance transfer fee, closing of accounts, closing your account, closing an account, closing a mortgage. You see, so there is a whole lot of the same thing said in different ways. Okay. So there are two types of data sets. Or data sets can be categorized into two. There could be more. I am sure there are more. But for the purpose of this, two, qualitative data and quantitative data. When you're talking of quantitative data, it has to do with like quantitative reasoning, right? It has to do with a whole lot of calculations and summations and all where you see the whole profit, total number of is revenue generated, quantitative data. But when it comes to counts or things like this, where you have complaints, it's categorized under qualitative data. I just hope nobody would Google it to confirm that I'm mixing things up. Qualitative versus quantitative data. Okay. So main difference between qualitative and quantitative data, I mean, I could literally put this here, is qualitative data is descriptive and non-numerical, while quantitative data is numerical and countable. I'm feeling myself right now, but yeah, so cool. It succeeded in. So in qualitative data, your qualitative answers why, this is research. Let me not even go too deep. Let us stick with this. So we understand the difference, right? Qualitative has to do with descriptive and non-numerical, while quantitative has to do with numerical and countable. Yeah. So that makes sense. So this has to do with a whole lot of description and complaints. So it could fall under qualitative data, whereas our sales data falls under quantitative, or the US voters data we work on, right? Okay. So we have here the issue, a lot of issues. We have the sub-issue, company public response, company has responded, perhaps feedback, company name, state code, zip code, tags. I mean, we can see some blanks here, right? We have blanks here. So some of them do not have tags, whatever tags mean. And who can remind me how we address blanks in data sets? Anybody? Okay. I will go with the flow of no responses. I just assume you all know it, but then you're being humble.
Okay, we replaced it with check or
Oh,
maybe not
I see.
applicable.
Okay, yeah. So you replace it with, yeah, stuff that would identify that they're blanks in your categorization. Thank you, Blessing, for voicing out for the masses. Okay. So customer consent provided. There is all this submitted via web, referral, phone, fax. That's the complaint channel. The date it was received, company response to customer, to consumer, feedback, timely response, yes, no, consumer disputed, no, not applicable, yes. So, I mean, it is important to take your time. I'm literally doing this as I would do. It's important to take your time to go through all the data, literally all the columns, to understand what each of them entail when you are trying to analyze data, right? It is very important. Okay. Now, having done that, having gone through the data, you identify the tables you identify the columns that you need to work on. So in the last class, some of the things we did, because we did the auto fits to remove rows. We did some replacing variables, that's the blanks. We did some, what do you call it? Font rearrangement, like upper, lower, proper, right? We did some trim, and some splitting, and some joining, text to column. Of course, we removed duplicates and filled up empties, addressed errors, right? And we did some formatting of the data. So now, this, like I said, different data sets come in different formats and depending on your end goal, right? This data set comes and your boss tells you, oh, these are consumer complaints. Make a report on this data. And this happens a lot. Sometimes they could tell you, oh, what they want to see. But as a data analyst, as a data professional, you want to be able to look at data and make sense out of it and derive insights on your own, right? But one thing very important, it's going to be very hard for you to, it may be a challenge for you to get meaningful insights if you do not understand the context, if you do not understand the domain knowledge. If you remember, like in the introductory class we did, we talked about domain knowledge. So it's one thing to know how to use these tools. It's one thing to know is to understand the nature of what you're analyzing. That's why if you go to a business, you want to understand how they operate, what their processes are like. Only then are you going to be really good at your game. That's in the analyzing of your data sets. So this is probably the easiest thing to do. So I'm just going to start with that. The headers, so they look more catchy. Removing duplicates in this context. Control A highlights all the data sets. And if you go to data, remove duplicates, everything is highlighted, and you click on OK. So with everything checked, basically you're saying, hey, look at the lines from column A to the last column with values and check if there are repetitions in any of them. If they are, remove. And here we see no duplicates found. So there we go. Do we have anyone here with customer service experience? Going through this data, what information do you think we can gather from here? We can get out of this data set. Even if you don't have customer service experience, please. If you have any ideas, I'd like to know. Looking at the data sets. Oh, take your time and speak. Have a very quiet class. Yes, Dami, speak.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Well done.
Yeah. So I think we can get the most complaints, like the complaint that was received most.
Most complaints?
Yes. Or the most product like that had the most complaint. The product that had the most complaints. We can get that from this data.
You said the product that had the most complaints.
Most complaints, yes.
Okay. So this is very nice. So we can get top products with complaints.
Yes.
Or a better way to put it would be products by complaints.
Something like that.
By complaints. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any other thing?
We could also get like the average response time or the average time taken to find the solution to the customer's complaint, something like that.
Okay. So we could say products by complaints. That there you can get top products with complaints. So
Exactly.
we can also get the top complaints. Then you said response time, how long it
Yes.
took to get the response time, to get
Okay, it's just this
satisfactions. But then for that you would need when it was submitted,
Oh,
the date
yeah.
it was
I
submitted, and the resolution date.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's not available to us, so we
End
can't
to
get that.
end. So we don't have that information, sadly. Or should we improvise? I think we can improvise. It would be nice to improvise. But what if it's not been resolved? Let's just leave it this way, no problem. It would have been nice. Yeah, very good insight. I'll just here add it. Response time. Thank you, Dami. So, James, your hand was up. What is the next?
Good evening, everyone. So what I wanted to say was, I checked the data,
Sorry?
and I checked the data,
Okay.
and what I've seen here is some complaints have not been addressed by the company. So you can just check the complaints not addressed by the company.
Okay. Beautiful. Complaints not addressed. Who else? There's so much we can get from this data. So I want more people. Insights. So we can also get the submission channel submitted here. So complaint submission channel. Then we can know which channel is mostly used by customers to make their complaints, right? I don't know what tags are. Oh, we can also get states. I mean, states with the highest complaints. So state-wise complaints. Yeah. What else? Company public response. I'm not sure I know what this is. A company has responded. Yes, please.
Okay. You can also check for the category of complaints, that the highest type of complaint under sub issue.
Sorry, come again. On that sub issue.
Yes, sir. There are complaints that they just use the colon to just that is the same thing.
Voice
So
is
highest kind of complaint, like highest kind of complaint.
okay. Oh yeah. So top complaints, right?
Yes.
So we can get them that from sub issue,
Yeah, what they complain about most.
or we can get it on issue from issue. Yes, one of the two. Yes, very important. I mean, why is it a complaint report if we don't get extract from there, right? Thank you. Thank you so much. Dami said the month that usually has the most complaints. So in our date column, we have year-wise. I think from what I'm seeing here, we have this data from 2021, 2011 to 2020. So we can also get like complaints. Year-wise complaints, right? To see how many complaints came in over time, to know if the company is just all about problems, if there's a decline that they need to improve here. It would advise on improving their products, which products had complaints over a certain period of time. We're going to use this data for further analysis, like pivot tables and all, right? So when you're able to extract what you are looking for in a data set, this helps you tell, it also guides you in your data transformation. I would always reference the data analysis process, right? When you've collected the data and you prepare the data, that is like this. Now we have arranged it. The next thing is to process the data, right? And in processing the data, you are arranging the data how you would want it analyzed. Okay? Because remember, after processing data, the next thing is to analyze the data. So if you do not process it how you would want it analyzed, you would want to use it for your analysis, then you adjust in a merry-go-round. So it is a good point to mention that one of the most annoying, if not the most annoying, I think, well, let me just say one of the most annoying, time-consuming, extremely time-consuming steps in data analysis is the data cleaning, especially if you have dirty data. If you have clean sources of data and all, like you're getting your source from a structured database, then you'd count yourself as lucky. However, if it's unstructured, then it may be a challenge. And in cases, especially when it comes to all these complaints reports, where the customers or the person complaining, people complaining, are given free hand to like type their stuff, then there's room for a whole lot of dirty data, and you have to categorize it. Why I'm saying this is you cannot, it doesn't make sense isolating data. Let me do a quick pivot here. So we talked about, one of the things we talked about was we want to see the issues, right? So then put the issues in the role and maybe a count of the issues. So here we go. If I zoom in this, you see this is in alphabetical order. Advertising and marketing. See, there is already categorization, advertising and marketing, and then you have advertising standalone. It doesn't make sense to put advertising as standalone and advertising and marketing isolated, right? Let me even see if there may be other advertising. Of course. Advertising besides these two. Okay, so it's just these two. And I'm sure there are others like that. See, bank transfer fees. These two should be categorized together. Billing disputes, billing statements, categorized together. Can't repay my loan, cash advance fee, see? So we have, if you look clearly, you'd see that there is a whole lot. Okay, I've seen struggling. So here you are struggling to pay my mortgage, struggling to pay your bills, struggling to pay your loan, struggling to repay your loan. Same thing, different inputs. If we analyze them separately, it doesn't exactly make analytical sense. So that is where data cleaning comes in. By the way, just like I would always, like I said, I'd always drop in one or two when working. If you have a table and you have say a pivot table alongside, and you make changes to the table or to these data sets, when you come to the pivot table, if you want it applied to the pivot, it doesn't automatically apply to the pivot table. But if you want it applied, you right click on the pivot table and click on refresh. And then it comes. But then we're not up for pivot tables. Pivot tables, like I mentioned, is actually the analysis part of our data analysis process. So data cleaning, complaints ID is okay, dates we saw is okay. Now products, do we have, is products okay? One thing I can do is to check this is probably take a copy of this, just copy the whole data, Control Shift and down, copy, and put in a separate sheet. And remove duplicates. Go to data. Oops. Remove duplicates. And there we go. So just have a look at this data. So there is credit card or prepaid card, debt collection. So just look at the uniqueness of the data. Anything that looks similar, I'd go back to my data set and change. Okay. So this looks, I feel like this looks pretty good. But before you make changes, please do a comparison like we did earlier. So I'm checking credit cards. I'll just filter for credit cards and credit card or prepaid cards to be sure they are like either the same or separate so that we know how either we're grouping them or we're leaving them as is. So if I maybe sort alphabetical order. Do I need to? Okay. So I'll just take some samples, look at the sub-products. Credit card or prepaid card, sub-products, general purpose card, credit card or charge card, stock credit card, general purpose stock cards, or stock credit cards, general purpose. Okay. Now I've seen that, I'll check for just credit cards. Why are there blanks? Credit cards do not have any sub-products. Okay, interesting. Okay, so I'll just look at this. Billing this.
Can I say something?
Yes, please tell me.
It's the credit card and or the other option.
Yeah.
I think you said this double quotes means like repetition, like it's the same as above, stuff like that. So
Okay.
do you think that you get maybe
Do I think that maybe they were
like
arranging
they were
out?
arranged? Yes, exactly. So like maybe same as above.
So here's why I would not think that. Let me show you. So I'll just select the credit cards and then I'll go to channel submitted. So the channel submitted, there are different channels submitted for these guys. All right, submission came. This is like a database. So submission came by referral, web, postal mail, and all. So the idea you're looking at it with is if it was manually entered into this sheet. I don't think it was manually entered. So the idea behind this is every role is a standalone. Every role speaks for itself. So if we're doing a double quotes, it does not make any database sense, right?
Okay.
Because if you want to treat a particular role uniquely, just
Mhm.
just one of it, like without looking at any other role, which is how it's supposed to be, right? How do
Yeah.
you now say, I mean, if you change the format, if you sort it from largest to smallest and all, or in alphabetical order, it definitely distorts the arrangement, right?
Yes, it does.
So it does not make any logical sense that it's referencing the others. That's what I thought initially, but yeah. So that's why you look deep. Critical thinking is
Yeah.
a core skill, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very, very beautiful insights. And you also notice that it's just credit cards that have these double quotes, right? So it's a possibility that they do not have sub-products, they're just a sole product. So this can be replaced with not applicable. So let's get on with that, Zeph. So who remembers how to replace values, right? Now the objective is we want to replace these double quotes with NA, right? Non-applicable, not applicable. So I'll select this colon that I want to clean, that I want to replace, and I'll go to find and replace, or Control H, Control F is fine. Control F is fine. You could go to replace from here, right? However, if you just want to go straight to replace, Control H takes you there. And you see, what are you looking for? I'm going to put double quotes there. Sorry, it must be really tiny for you to see. It's tiny here also, but just know it's a double quote I'm putting here. And what do I want to replace with NA? And I'd select replace all done. 19,176 replacements done. Close. So if we do a drop down now, we see, say we look for NA. We see it here. We have that replacement. I think NA is better than using double quotes. So I'm just going to give you guys some expo ahead of the end of the class. This is going to be, wherever we stop today, it is going to be, the rest will be take home, right? And from there, you prepare pivot tables with it, making insights out of it. All the things we listed, all the insights. In fact, I won't even mention what you should find. I'm just going to allow you find it yourself so that I'll see how much we are following using pivot tables to make insights. Okay. So we had checked for credit cards and prepaid credit or prepaid cards. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to, they look different, so we'll just leave them that way. Must have been categorized for a reason that way. So now one that looks pretty dirty is this guy. So first off, I'm going to sort in alphabetical order. Then Control Shift down. I'll copy this colon. Go to my working sheets. Paste it. And then I'll remove duplicates just to see how much unique items are there. Remember, I sorted from largest to rather in alphabetical order so that, I mean, with the hope that similar data will be together. So here we see, like I said, cleaning can be very annoying and time consuming, but fun. So here we see, just going to use colors to mark them. So we see certificates of deposit. I mean, I'm seeing another of that here. Here you have the bracket out. Here you have the bracket in. Right. I'm seeing auto and auto debts. Cashing a check without an account, checking account. Okay, those are different. Conventional, now adjustable mortgage, conventional fixed mortgage, conventional home mortgage, credit card debt. This could be categorized together. Federal student loan debt, federal student loan services. This could be categorized together. FHA mortgage. Well, that could be federal housing. I mean, so let's just keep that. We could even choose to categorize everything mortgage, right? As mortgage. Everything mortgage together. So then you can get how many complaints came from mortgage and stuff. General purpose credit card or charge card, general purpose prepaid card, gift card, government beneficiary card. You could group the cards together. I'm just saying, I mean, home equity loan line of credit, these are same thing. Oops. I do not know, really. So I do not know. Perhaps if you see, so for this, I do not know now. You could go look out for it and see what the person complained about so that you have a better, there are so many of them. Wow. Yeah, so you have some idea. This is under debt collection. I do not know there are like how many of them? 1,000. Wow. Okay. So I do not know could be categorized under. I mean, there's so many, right? So you could leave it at I do not know really. There's a lot of them and it's consistent. Medical debt, the mortgage can be categorized under mortgage. What color did we use for mortgage earlier? There is the NA, non-federal student loan, other banking products and services, the same, other debt, other mortgage, other types of mortgage would still fall under mortgage. So how many, so when you are presenting your data, how many reports on mortgage complaints on mortgage came to place? Know that. Payday loan, group them together. Private student loan. Reverse mortgage, second mortgage, like, yeah, all fall under mortgage. Store credit card, savings account, Buy mortgage, save mortgage. I'm sure by now you get the gist of why I said this can be very tiring. And then this is just one colon. So it's ideal to, yeah, standard practice to replicate colons with the indicator cleaned. How do I mean? Like this subcolon we want to clean now. I'll just insert a colon. I'll call this maybe sub products underscore cleaned. So it's pretty much advisable in a lot of cases not to discard the original data, the original this in case you want to refer to it, right? And yeah, you put it. So one way this can really help so that you don't go all filtering and if I do CD, so here we had two CDs where we have certificate in bracket and then the other one where we have the CD in brackets. We could choose to take one convention for them. I'd copy this and paste here, and then I drag it down. So now whether CD is in bracket or certificate of deposit is in bracket, they're all going to maintain certificate of deposits. So I go to the next. And perhaps auto debit and auto debts. And so they're all under debt collection. You may want to understand what it is, what the issue is for you to better map it. Oh boy. So we could call it, we go for auto or auto debts. I think I just go for auto debts. And drag it down. So you have to do this for every data set, for every sheet, every row until you get all your data sets categorized. Sounds like fun, right? So one way I could do this, an alternative, here we have the duplicates of each item, right? Then I'll probably call this category. So when I work with stuff like this, or maybe grouping, I'll just call this grouping, or cleaned, right? Here so it's even easier this way. Since this is a duplicate, I now I do the mapping here on this sheet, and then I use a lookup, XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP, and replace it here. So that's some smarter way to do it, else you just keep filtering and dragging. So here, I think this guy looks more presentable, this CD before the brackets. I'll just use it here. Also use it here. Auto, we said we use auto debits. And auto debit for the two. Actually, check, I don't even know what's. So these other ones, we said we'll just go for mortgage. 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 This credit card. I think there was another credit card here, store credit card. Yeah, so we'll just put it here. Student loan, some can be student loan. This is still mortgage. So I want to check something. Oh, so it seems like I'm basically repeating whatever is here. Just occurred to me. So the same products, I'm cleaning the sub products and all. So this is a total waste of our time. It's not necessary because we have them already categorized here. Yes, so I'm just going to skip that right now. No cleaning of the subcategory. Perhaps there might be no. Or we could make sense out of it. I mean, they all fall under this. So from here, we can, if we want to drill down to the different complaints, we can do that. So I'm just going to remove this because it's not necessary. We have our products and subcategories. So we can group with our products and then if we want to see the sub products. The second thought, it might just be important, nice to clean. Oh, well, so assignments, folks. Remember how in school the teacher will give the students homework to do the tough jobs. So this is me giving you the tough jobs. Right. So clean the sub products, please. If we do that, it's just going to take the whole class, but at least you get the idea of what we're doing here. So what I was going to do when I finish this, I could just create a colon instead. Let me even do that for subproducts, products cleaned. And I can do a lookup, X lookup, look at this guy. Hey, look out for this in this colon and return the clean sheets. And there we have it. I double click and then it replicates. So rather than filtering and unfiltering and pasting manually, a lookup will do the job. And when you finish, you can copy and paste as values and take away the formulas, right? So that'll be pretty nice. It's into 2. Okay. So issues are very important. Remember when we pointed out things that we could extract products with the top complaints, products by number of complaints, right? Yes. So when we see products, the idea is when we see the products with the highest complaints, we want to address them. Oh, why do we have this problem? So we now drill down into the complaints and all. So now issues must be cleaned. Very important. So just like the other, I just take a copy of it, go to my sheets and paste. And then I'd remove duplicates. $775,000 duplicates removed, 89 unique. Right, and then the journey begins. So put a filter, I'll sort in alphabetical order. Hopefully I'll see correspondence. Then I'd call this issues clean. Yeah, so advertising and marketing, advertising. Let's just call both of them advertising and marketing. Right, group them to advertising and marketing. Application processing delay, applying for mortgage, refinancing existing mortgage. So bank transfer fees, I just put it these two together. Bankruptcy feels unique. Billing disputes, billing statements. So perhaps can group it under billing statements. Can't repay loan. Cash advance fee. Cash advance. So if you notice what I'm doing, I'm skipping some that my brain cannot process at the moment. The idea is start from the known to the unknown. Then you now filter, now get to the ones that you are not sure of. And then you can work on them. So we call this account closing. Collection debt disputes. So collection practices, or maybe debt collection. Yeah, and this falls under debt collection. I think there was a colon there. Continued attempts to collect debts not owed. So debt collection complaints, the issues. There should be a column for more detailed sub-issues. Okay, so I have a filter here. I'm pretty much curious to see. So these double quotes can be changed to not applicable or something. Funds not handed. So anyways, after you group the issues, you want to struggling to pay mortgage, struggling to pay bills. So repayment struggles, repaying your loan. So this could also fall under this. Oops. So you fill all this, and when you're done, you create your colon, issues cleaned. create a column for issues cleaned. That with that column, you will be able to have oops, issues underscore cleaned. And you look up the issues. How lookups come in very handy. Yeah, so this is NA because I didn't even see the double quotes in my filtering. Yeah, so you use the find and replace function to replace the double quotes. I'm sure if I check the filter here, some of them reflected. None of them? Really? What did I look up? Advertising and marketing. How is that even possible? Oh, see, I went looking up the sub issue, not the issue. So the filter, some of them here, based on the ones I put, they're reflecting. Communication tactics issue cleaned. Communication, this is so wrong. Like it doesn't even correlate. Oh, you see? So this is while on the go. So I put debt collection under communication tactics. I don't think that makes sense. I'll just put this as communication tactics. Then it shows here. So if we do a count, we're going to see the top complaints based on what issues were raised the most. We can drill down to what products these issues were raised, and then we know what are the highest complaints for each of the products and all that, and then we make informed decisions. Then we talked about state-wise analysis. Or we want to see different, these are state initials, I guess, in the US and older America, and yeah, so New York. As a matter of fact, I think you can add to the tags where you could check out these initials. You check out these initials of these states and actually in your analysis use the main states. I mean, this is online. You could literally Google states and states in the US and their initials. This is all going to be there. And then you bring it here and you can look it up. If you have a column with the initials and you have another column with the states, and you do a VLOOKUP and an XLOOKUP into these sheets, add another column for the actual states, name of the states, you'll have it all here. So please add that to your tax actual names when you are doing your pivot tables. And zip code may not be necessary or anything right now. I think Zip codes are area codes which are usually mapped to the states. So state-wise information may be fair enough. Consumer consent provided. This would be good information. Consent not provided. Consent provided. Consent withdrawn. Da, 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 da. This channel, we talked about it. The date received. So just like Dami said, a good information we can get is the resolution time. Resolution time, right? Of course, resolution would come only if the items, the complaints are closed. Closed with explanation, monetary relief, close. The in progress, there is one untimely response here. So very good information that you can, honestly. So even if we do not have the date, we can also analyze the response quality from this column, timely response. So we have yes and we have no. So we could see the percentage response vis-a-vis, the timeliness of the response, whether we yes or no. We could get that from this information, from this column. So yes, also very important, response timeliness to find out. Consumer disputed. Yeah, whatever that means, not so sure, but sure. Good insight. If it's here, it means it's important. So have it too. So there we go. I would want you to go back and try this out, explore this. The end goal is to clean this data and to get insights. So we listed out some insights to get insights from the data and present your insights in form of pivot tables, right? So I want to see like multiple pivot tables giving multiple insights on every information required that we can extract from here. Yes. When you're able to do this, it shows that you are getting deeper in the theme. Do you get? Okay. So any questions on your homework? No questions mean we all understand, right? Okay, I'm going to do a poll, a quick poll. Okay, so the polls are coming up in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, anonymous poll. I'd like to see one person responded out of 7 currently in class. If I get up to 5 responses, I'm good. Okay, so people to go. Wow, a lot of maybes. One more person. Oh, wow. Okay. So at least there are no nodes. That means there is some understanding. Right. Um, I'll just end the poll for now. Um, so no worries. You've watched me do this. You will have a better understanding when you do it yourself. Okay? When you try it out. That's why I really want you to, how they say, teach me to fish, don't give me fish. Yeah, you try it out yourself. Now for the pivot tables, if you notice, we don't have the whole total profit and all that. So what you're going to be doing, you're going to be counting. You're basically going to be counting the values. If you notice what I did here, for the issues, I put the issues in the row, and I also put the issues in the what do you call it, the values to get the count, right? I could also use count of complaint ID as my default. It's in as number, so it's taking it as a sum, but I could change the summarization from sum to count. Remember to always sort your pivot tables from largest to smallest. It makes more sense. And if you can do the cell formatting, you highlight the column you want to format, right click, format cell, numbers without decimal places, add a comma. Okay. This is pretty much presentable. We'll be getting back into pivot tables in our next class, and we're going to go deeper into it. I just wanted us to get done with this. Continual formatting, we will get into it too. It's just a touch that it's pretty straightforward, I think. Yeah. So just like if you want to get total, if you want to get the state-wise data like this, or what should I use? Response, timely response. If I put timely response in the rows, you have no yes. If I also put it in the values, or I can choose to maintain the complaint ID here, and I change it to summarize it by count to maintain that it's still going to be the same thing. So if we sort, you find out that we had higher, yeah, we had a higher response time. If we want to see the percentage, we can now show value as percentage of grand total. And then we see, 98% of the time. Let me remove the decimal. 98% of our, so we have pretty much some good response time, right? Perhaps put the timely response, put the headers, or maybe somewhere at the top for each of your pivots so that we can know what you're talking about. Okay, so this is bonus. This is bonus from all the things you're going to be doing. All right, I just said let me give you some free of charge. So I'm looking forward to seeing your cleaned data. I'm looking forward to seeing the insights you get from this data set. I'm really excited at what you can do and make out from it. I'll just read out some of the things people mentioned that you could look out for. Number of complaints by products. Products by complaints or complaints by products. Here, English. Then we're looking at the top complaints. We're looking at the response, the timeliness of response. States-wise, remember the states I said scout for, go online and check for the abbreviation, the states that have these abbreviations in colon J, yeah, and map it using XLOOKUP or VLOOKUP. In fact, I want to see the formula you used on the colon you will add. In fact, keep your formulas on all the clean stuff. Keep the sheets. I really want to see the end-to-end process. And so, I go through every assignment and eventually go through all, one after the other, right, that is submitted. The whole aim is not necessary to grade, but just to understand the flow and one's line of thought. And it guides even in the feedback I give when we are reviewing the tasks given. Okay, state-wise, the submission channel, pretty much important too. To know the ones mostly used and the ones least used. Then we talked about the year-wise complaints. We have this date colon where we can use to extract the year. This from 2011 to 2020. And it's important to do this task because we're going to build up on it. We're going to do other things. In fact, we're going to eventually make a dashboard with it. By by next week, we'll start making dashboards. In fact, from the next class, we're going into, yeah, perfect. Hopefully time permits, we go into, we start visualizing data, creating charts from our pivot tables, and from there we get into making our dashboards, and you start making your portfolios. Pretty interesting stuff. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to take questions now. Okay, in the absence of no questions, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. So assignments should be submitted by 4 p.m. or not before 4 p.m. on Thursday, so that I can go through the tasks before the class. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.